Hey guys, Darren here from Fancy Points. Welcome to week number 5. Um, Last week didn't go very well with Joe Burrow, unfortunately. Um, Pretty sad, actually. Got to remember, I'm a GPP player. I'm looking for lower owned players who have high upside, and didn't work out. That's just the way it's going to go sometimes. But most of my other picks, I'm really happy with the picks overall. But yeah, it's hard to get all of them in the right lineup. Um, but anyway, we're going to do something a little bit different today. Real quick, please hit the thumbs up real quick. It helps these videos continue to be free. And I can share these with you every week and show you a couple different things. You can use my name, Darren, Darren, the number 5, for a discount on the site. All the projections, ownership, actually just updated today. And we have all the college projections, the shows, live streams, just Discords, best Discord you can find around for DFS, for college and NFL. Great bunch of people, super sharp. Everybody's super helpful. Um, I've been playing DFS a long time. It's best Discord I've ever been in, and I really enjoy all the community that we have there. Anyway, so listen, we're gonna do something a little bit different this week. We're gonna play around. So we're beginning some questions about trying to get a little bit of help as far as making a cash lineup. I'm not a cash game player. I know the concepts of it, and I could make a cash game lineup, but that's not my priority. When on Sundays, but Sunday morning in the Discord chat, people are super helpful. Especially Johnny has a Sunday morning update. He kind of goes over what the cash lineup builds typically look like, and he gives his opinion if it's a good chalk, bad chalk, and that's all super helpful for everything actually, and helps in my GPP builds too. Not to make sure not to have too many of the chalky guys in the lineup. I do different groups and settings to kind of counter that. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to play around with like making like a cash double up type lineup. So haven't showed you this before. So we're gonna start with DraftKings. You can do this obviously on FanDuel also. Um, just do 3 lineups. I'm always gonna do a basic stack. Basic stacks. Unless you got a running quarterback, I guess you could go naked if they're super cheap, mispriced, somebody's ruled out. You could run somebody naked as far as that goes. Um, got the main slate. I'm going to keep all the flex in here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to touch these advanced settings because obviously when you start touching these, it will take away diversity, which I'm going to explain right now. So when you highlight this diversity, I'm going to read it for you. Lineup diversity only impacts your picks when you generate more than one lineup. Higher lineup diversity limits the number of lineups all players will be in, leading to more variance in your lineups, but usually lower average projected scores for some lineups. Lower lineup diversity allows top players to be in a greater percentage of lineups, leading to less variance in your lineups, but usually higher average scores. Note, you can select how often you want individuals to show up in the lineups on the player settings page. So what you can do is see if when you hit this, it takes this away. So you may not have seen this before, and I haven't really played with this with you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this toggle over to get like try and pop in the most highest projected guys in there on like a cash type lineup, and we'll do something else here in a second. I'll show you. So I'm going to run this just to show you real quick. I'm going to run 3 lineups just with a wide receiver, and this is what it's popping out. This is a based on ownership, very chalky lineup, but it looks really good, right? It looks like a really good lineup. Mahomes, Rice is getting a little bit of ownership. He's super cheap. Good luck picking the right chief receiver this week. Ertz, there's Higbee. Panthers defense is super cheap. I wouldn't play Panthers defense and Montgomery in the same lineup though. But you can make that rule in a group setting. Now another thing that you can do is you can go to player settings. And then what you can do is you can actually sort by ownership. Like I said, I just updated it like 30 minutes ago. And you can see the ownership here. Now, there's 1 or 2 things that you can do. You can bump them up right here, 1, 2, or 3 times to get more of them if you want to run 20, 30, 40, you want to look at 150 lineups. You can just kind of go through and just look, find your best one. Or what we'll do this time is we got the 4 ownerships. We got the 4 highest ownerships here. Gonna make sure you don't use more than 3 running backs because you can only fit 3, 2 in the flex, obviously. So I've already done this. Actually, I did that in the last lock. I'm sorry. That was the last lineup. I did lock, 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 lock. So if we go back and look at that optimizer, I'm sorry. You go back to that real quick. So I had actually locked in the top 4. Let me show you that lineup again, those lineups. And you can see here, the top 4 owned guys are already in here. So what we'll do is we'll go back and we'll actually go back to player settings here. And I'm going to go ahead and be sort by ownership again. We'll just run it the other way without me locking them. Not exclude. You can exclude a player too. Don't forget. If you don't want to have a play, you don't like him, you don't trust him, exclude him. It's pretty, pretty simple. Auto. Just put these in auto. Automatic. Okay, so we'll go back. Nobody's locked. We've got the diversity, the lowest setting possible. We'll optimize without locking anybody, and then you can see the difference. You can always pause the video, look what those lineups look like, and then see what these ones look like. See if any of these, kind of pop out. And obviously, we're going to be a little bit different, right? And there's Camara in here. We had A-Chain in there before. So these lineups are different. But this is without locking anybody. So it's your choice. You can play around with it. You got to understand it's not like you can click buttons, just click a button and hope it's just going to give you, print. You got to do a little bit of research, do some studying, get in the Discord, listen to Casting Points, listen to what Johnny says in the morning on Sunday, read every article, Graham and Jake, Barrett's, and Hanson's. There's like way so much information, but you do have to, you're the one making that final decision based on all the information that you've gathered. Okay, I wanted to share that. It's pretty straightforward how to do it, really easy. Like I said, you can bump up the players, run 20, run 30, 140, look through the lineups, play around with ownership, as far as that goes. You might, maybe David Montgomery's, messed with you in the past. You don't trust him this week. Just exclude him. It's your choice, guys. Your choice. He's good. He's showing 24%. He might actually get a little bit higher than this, but I just wanted to share that with you. And obviously, you can do the same thing. We'll do the high. I'm just going to press high. Just moved it from the lowest to a little bit more, more GP type lines. Didn't touch any of the stacks. And here you go. So this is a little, I think this lineup, one of these lineups actually was the same as I was playing around with it a little bit earlier. You can see, Kyron Williams isn't showing much ownership this week. Jameson Williams. I'm still curious what he's going to come in at with no St. Brown playing. But this has actually got 2 tight ends here also. So that's like a more tournament type GPP play. So I wanted to share that with you. We'll run. Let's run a couple stacks real quick. A couple that I like this week, especially low owned. So we'll just do 20%. We'll do 25%. And what we'll do is he's showing right now, guys, at like 2% ownership. Zach Wilson. I know I'm a GPP player. That's what I do. I'm trying to, 4,900 is pretty cheap in Denver. Wow, have they been bad? And a couple of my models do. They actually look really good. I'm going to throw in Lazard. It's a super cheap stack. He's only 3,900. Denver has been atrocious to outside receivers. So you can get this low owned stack here. Pretty cheap. Now, he want to come back with, we don't know about Javonte Williams. I don't know if he's going to play, but I'm going to throw in McLaughlin right now. He looked really good last week. He was one of my preseason darlings. I was playing every single week in preseason. Had a really good summer. Super talented back, short, shifty, pass catcher. So in this lineup, we're not going to use the Denver Broncos. Oops, going to do Broncos. I don't mind Breece Hall if you end up with Zach Wilson and Brees Hall, I actually don't mind that. Brees catches enough passes, and supposedly he's off his restriction. So I'm okay with that. So if that pops that out, I'm okay. And we'll do one more. I'm going right back to Joe Burrow. I can't quit the guy, man. His upside, his price is like so cheap, and I've said it all year. Arizona's feisty, man. I really like the way they play. Um, and I think this could be actually a pretty fun game. Looks like Higgins probably going to miss. You know, when he got the injury last week, they said a few weeks, and now he's hasn't been. He's like game time decision type stuff, but I doubt he plays. Obviously, check the notes and all that kind of stuff on that end. And we can come back with Connor. I like James Conner quite a bit this week. I'm not going to have Joe Mixon in a line with Burrow unless it was like a super small entry field, but even then, I wouldn't do that. And then obviously, I don't want to have the Cardinals defense. Oops. Cardinals defense. All right. I'm actually just going to put this back to medium. I'm not going to mess with this other stuff. I'm just going to kind of keep it a little bit more simple this time. I haven't done this yet, so let's see what it spits out. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we get anything kind of that pops out. See if any lineups that intrigue me. Let's see what we got this morning. Yeah, I love right now. We've got we got nice data now on the site. Data suites pumping up some really good stats. I'm getting more and more. I'm excited for these next few weeks. So we'll see. We'll go find the lineups that with the lineups that I kind of made. Wilson, Bijan, Brees. Oh, there you go, right there. Wow, that's a triple stack. Jeez. Wow, Brees, Hall, and Wilson. If I was doing something like this, if I had all three, I'm gonna want a Bronco as a comeback. Wilson, Jameson Williams, as Doobies popping quite a bit. Tua is popping. Here's one of the Zach Wilson lineups. Once again, he threw Brees in there. It's got Jefferson and Chase. Wow, that's interesting. And that's using Panthers as leverage against David Montgomery chalk is interesting. Also, they're super cheap. Will they stack the box and do everything in their power to stop him and make Golf beat him with no St. Brown? Maybe. I like the looks of this one actually. Those Steelers game. Oh, no, it's got Mark Andrews. I don't want to play Andrews and Steelers in the same defense. Excuse me, in the same lineup. Kamara, it's a low scoring game. Who knows? I'm not a big fan of that game. I know Kamara's pulling massive ownership. I know he caught 1,000 balls last week, but yeah, I could do it again. But with Carr back there, I'm not a big fan. It's Kamara. This one's pretty good. I like the correlation in this one. Double stack coming back with Ertz and Connor, and that if that game goes off, a lot of people are Marquise Brown. It's a way to get different playing Connor and Ertz together. Not sure if many people will do both. Connor's not showing that much ownership. He's one of my favorite running backs this week. Yeah, I like this one. It's actually the last one of all of them. That's interesting. That's out of the stacks that I made anyway. Yeah, that Arizona Cincy game, man, that could be a high scoring game. Anyway, yeah, pretty good video today. Hopefully that was helpful for y'all. Any questions, please leave them in the comments on the YouTube. Please use the thumbs up if you like this format, how I did it. I just wanted to get this out of the way, show everybody kind of how it works. But if there's something you'd like to see in the future, next week, week after, hey, can you try doing this or something? Sure. Let me know if I can do it. I'll do that. All right, guys. Well, good luck to everybody in their lineups, and I'll see you guys at the top of the leaderboards. All right. See ya.